Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Be in January.
Yes, sir.
And it's right back with the
nipples.
101. Yes, my time to shine.
Shout out to Slims. Shout out to Courtney. Couldn't be here.
That's it, man.
But they always here in spirit. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
But we had to bring y'all back. You know it's really funny actually. Before we go into what we talk about, but it's quite interesting to me. Like usually, I never realized how many football podcasts there are out there, and then you start doing this, and all of a sudden you start realizing there's a shitload of football podcasts out there. Some of them ain't even that great, but I understand that everyone has an opinion, so it's like you make something out of it. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. Like, but keep doing what you're doing, man. You probably make it better.
What?
No, it's just like some of it's just not entertaining. Like it was just funny to me because like over the time that we kind of like, it wasn't even a planned break. Like everybody's life just started to kind of get a little crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when you sit there, I start taking in content because I'm like, well, I can see what the competition's doing.
Okay. And
outside of the top ones. Like you look at the other ones like ourselves or what have you, and they're getting views and stuff, but it's just like, it's all right. It's all right.
We back.
We back. Yeah, we back. We back. No disrespect though. I don't mean that in any disrespectful way.
Yeah, you did. Right in the height of the January transfer window title race. Heating up.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
The Premier just... Well, from where I'm sitting, the Premier's looking really good.
From where I'm sitting, it's all right. I'm not gonna lie.
What's your views on the Prem and the transfer window and the effect it's gonna have on the title? And
let's go bottom to top.
Yeah, let's go for it.
When I look around the Premier League, I often kind of like to look for like the teams that we thought were gonna be like the dark horses or do something special and they're not doing it. I.e. like the West Hams, Everton, stuff like that. There's no disrespect to their fan base or anything like that, but
I might put a clip in of what we all said at the beginning of the season.
Hey, listen, it wasn't even disrespectful. Like I don't rate Frank Lampard as a manager.
For Everton, you mean?
For Everton, yeah. Like when I said what I said about relegation center backs, I meant it. I did mean it. And at the time, they were the best center back partnership in the league.
Oh, wow.
Well,
they're not here to defend themselves.
They're not, but I just want to put that out there clear so when they see the video, they're like, that motherfucker. Yeah, no, I mean, the truth always rises to the top, right? So I just looked at it and thought, like, collectively as a team, because I can hear Courtney in my ear right now saying that's not fair. But you can say, like, collectively as a team, it's not been good. Iwobi's been a bright spot. I think Aaron Gordon, Chelsea probably thinking they're lucky stars. They didn't purchase him in the end. His name Aaron? Is it Aaron? What's his name again? Anthony, sorry. I mean, when you're that far down, I don't look down there. But yeah, no, it's my job to look down. I'm sorry, Anthony Gordon. Nah, I was being an asshole. Nah, but yeah, no, Anthony Gordon, I think Chelsea probably lucky they dodged that bullet.
Maybe, I hear you.
Ings is now going to West Ham.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because
it's a sign that Everton could have dealt with, to be fair.
Yeah, and I think that's when you start to draw the parallels, like who needed what, why, and where. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's not one that you can depend on clearly.
He's best at the moment.
And I have nothing against. Again, when I say things about players, I don't want to make it seem like I have something against them or against the club or anything, because I don't. I just look at it like you got to be realistic, and being realistic, players who don't. I mean, Liverpool's suffering through it right now.
Yeah.
Players who are not dependable ultimately render you in spots that you probably wouldn't be in if you probably got rid of those players years prior.
What about West Ham? To be honest with you, even me, I'm even going to start West Ham because I'm a fan of Moyes. I'm a fan of what he did with West Ham over the last couple of seasons.
I just think the United thing will always come back to bite him. And I don't mean that because being a United supporter, I don't mean that like trying to be funny. I'm just saying like because he was dealt an unfair blow. You're the guy after the guy. It's unfortunate, but what I'm saying is that it started great and it looked good, and then you're thinking you're getting that David Moyes who was at Everton for so long, but they weren't great. They were decent. They were okay. They were good. They survived. They did some. They did some fantastic things. Yeah, but it just never got over that hump. And for me, that's what you get sometimes with managers like Moyes. You know, for that first like 2-3 years, it's wonderful, and then all of a sudden you start to see the cracks. And that's also about investment. I can't really say that too much. I mean, you bring in Lucas Paqueta,
You bought in Paqueta.
Scamacca. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Is it more him or is it? But is the thing? Is it more them or is it more not having the talent, injuries, or is it him as a manager? I just feel like
I think at the moment it's him as a manager because I was even looking at it, and West Ham haven't It's like, what is your style of play? Because it's all right. Before you were relying on Antonio up front, who is the type of forward that would put himself everywhere,
he puts stuff about,
making use of him.
It's almost like you got enamored by the shiny new toy.
And then Scamacca is more of a hold-up player where you play the ball into feet, he plays off you, you have players running off him, sort of thing. So, what was your style of play? I think Bowen and
but these are players that just
was used to Antonio.
But these are the players that just failed to rise to the top. Again, you know, you have people like Manuel Lanzini. You have all these players. Like, these are talented. Pablo Fornés. These are talented players. They're not bad players. The problem is that, like you said, is the system suiting the players? What you have at the club at your disposal? Do you sometimes have to dial it back and go more basic in order to get the best out of the players that you have? It's just, you know, these are the teams that you don't expect to be down there. So, or in and around those fights and battles. I mean, I think for Everton, it'll be 2 relegation battles in a row, or at least being in and around it.
Lampard came out and said, we're in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
He said that, but so.
You just can't be in that situation. I mean, you're seeing things like I didn't read too much into it, but I definitely, like, you know, glanced at the couple of headlines and read a little bit of a paragraph about the directors being told not to come to the stadium because they could be in danger and stuff like that. And that's just crazy that you're at that place where, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not an Evertonian, so shout out to the Evertonians. I don't know necessarily. I mean, obviously they want their club to do better. That's number one.
They're a passionate fan base. They're a great fan base.
But I don't know what you're looking to solve with that. Being a United fan and suffering through the Glazer ownership for so long, you kind of like, it's hard to kind of get everybody on one page. So I understand, like, maybe some of the stuff they're going through or some of the stuff they might be looking at and thinking, oh, this is just never going to end. Maybe they want everyone to leave.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, it's like Newcastle almost gives people hope, right? Because, like, Saudis come out of nowhere and buy Newcastle, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that could happen to us.
Yeah.
There's not that many Saudis on the planet, bro. Like, you got to relax. Like, they're not, like, no one might ever come to save you.
We're talking about the relegation scrap, and we've spoken obviously about Everton and West Ham.
Yeah.
We've also got our perennial, like,
yeah, the guys who are down there.
Southampton.
Yeah. Well, it's time for them to go down. No offense to Southampton. No, but it is. I just, there's no investment. Their manager takes at least a 9 mil each season. I don't know if they got one yet this year.
Yeah, Hassan Hüttel's been sacked, you know that.
Yeah, he's been, yeah. So that part is out of the way, and you're still not getting a new manager bounce. So what's the formula? And they've been in the situation, and shout out to Slims, but again, we're talking about people like James Ward-Prowse.
But they're just not Man City out of the League Cup.
And?
So clearly there's something there. They've made a couple of astute additions. Clearly there's something there.
Yeah, but again,
could possibly keep
what was the City team?
It doesn't matter. They had
it
enough.
It does matter.
No,
it plays a huge part.
They had enough. This is Manchester City.
No, 100%. But I'm just
City
saying,
could have
like,
8 players out and still field one of the strongest teams.
I know, but they still obviously listen. We all know, like, to perform at the top level, game in, game out is difficult in itself. The pressure is a lot, right? So you look at Manchester City and you're going to look at the situation and say, boom, all right, well, this is what we do. We're going to put these players in. It's not going to be like the first team. We still expect to get a result, right? You can forgive them for being a little laxed on the night. It is what it is. They're not going to take their opponent. And it's disrespectful to take their opponent seriously. Yeah. But the fact is, it's like, shit happens, man. Like that's like a little stain on the record. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's nothing big to them. And congratulations to Southampton for getting that far. But you could also still be in another league by the time that, you know.
Okay, so if we look at, like, the likes of now Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest, who just came up from the Prem first season back in the Prem, and how they're not in the relegation zone, be it they may all be in the relegation zone.
They're going to be thereabouts, I figure, by the end of the season, towards the end of the season.
We look at the job that O'Neill's doing at Bournemouth, and then look at Steve Cooper at Nottingham
Forest. Yeah.
The fact that we can see that he's got Brennan Johnson that's maybe starting to hit a bit of form.
Yeah.
Gibbs White is playing a crucial role.
He's come back off his injuries and stuff. Yeah.
They brought in Danilo in the transfer window, unknown quantity, but we know he's a dynamic.
You never know. Yeah, never know.
Who's your favourites to go down then? So Nottingham Forest.
I mean, Southampton for me is definitely in the mud. I just don't know what's gonna change for them. Goals win games, right? And strikers are gold dust right now.
Okay.
And I like Shea Adams, but he's not the guy that's gonna save you. He might very well. I say this today, and then 10 weeks down the line,
stay strong. In
100%. No, because you never know. Like these things do happen. People hit a bit of purple patch, and then it's it's goals, and all of a sudden you're winning games. But I just think that they just don't look. They just don't look at it at all.
Okay.
But that can change. But I think they're definitely in that conversation. I don't know if we're to see. I don't know what to make of Nottingham Forest at this point. Because you buy 21 players, I don't think most of those worked out so far.
If you have a look at the table, they're not in the relegation zone.
They're not, but
they've won games.
They're going to be one of the teams that you're going to expect they're going to have a tough run, and
They're 13th.
It's not bad, but what is it? 40 points to safety.
5 points off the relegation zone, so they're on track.
Come on, bro. If you're only 5 points, I mean, if you said they're 13th and they were like 8 or 9 points, I'd be like,
they're on track for 40.
Yeah,
after the season they got 20.
Yeah, it's not on track for 40, bro. Come on, fam. 20. That's a whole 20 points.
19 games gone. They've got 20 points.
But that's a whole 20 points you gotta get, and you're 5 points ahead of the guys that's at the bottom. Come on, bro. You're in the battle. 13. So what you're telling me now, from 13th down, everybody's in that battle. Yeah, so it is what it is.
Talking about from 13th
it's fishy.
Down, you've got Leeds, Leicester, and Wolves.
They're always in that. Well, Wolves actually a surprise.
Yeah.
I watched Wolves the other day with Lopetegui, and again, I'm in Troy. It's just stinky, man. Like just. They should have left him at Barcelona, bro. Like they should have. When Barca said he has to come back, they said nah. You keep him. They've been unfortunate. Again. They brought Matheus Cunha from Atletico Madrid.
Is that what they're lacking? That dynamism up front, like that player.
I think they're lacking a lot.
Link play, score goals. Because I believe when I look at Wolves play, I think their build up is great. They've got good players on the ball. Obviously, they've still got Neves and Moutinho dictating the midfield.
I'm gonna go back to something I said. It's like if Neves doesn't pull out a worldie or something, where is it coming from?
I hear you, but I think where it breaks down is that they'll be okay in defense. They'll build up really well. But when it comes to the final third, that finishing product, they've got no one to put those chances away. They've been unlucky. They bought Sasa.
They bought Diego Costa that came back, and now they bought Matheus Cunha. Raul Jimenez is still there. Podence. That's another thing as well, because I don't think that it's like just a striker problem. The wingers ain't doing it either. Okay. You got players like Neto and stuff like that. These guys are injured. They've gotten injured. Podence has just come off of a long injury as well. A lot of these guys get injured, but
Podence has been playing well.
He's been playing well, but they need production out of those guys, and they're not getting it, and that's why they're in that conversation.
Lopetegui said something about graders and there being an issue there. He's like he said you never know what can happen in the market, which obviously you can't. But then even then you just bring in and you just brought in, and then you also think about Matheus Nunes as well. Yeah,
hasn't really happened for him yet. I think he did have an injury, if I'm not mistaken, like a small one, and then he came back. But again, it just hasn't happened from you. Would have thought that midfield would be the great engine.
Yeah,
and it just, and I feel like Lopetegui now is playing Traore in order to kind of like, he's pacey. So if the ball goes through, but then it's if. You got to control games. You got to do certain, and they're just not going to do that.
They've got the players to do it.
I don't think they're going to go down. Yeah. I think there's too much talent there. I could be wrong, but I don't think right now they're going to go down. But again, without goals win games, bro. The most important part of football is goals. Yeah, especially in these positions. I think when you start to look up the table, it's about style and style of football, and standards and things of that nature. When you're looking at that level, you're looking at, we need goals, because if we don't score, we don't win. And if we don't win, the further down the table you go.
Yeah.
So I feel like Wolves need goals, and they need a lot of them, and they almost need like a Matheus Cunha or something like that to just bang.
Yeah.
Just all right, cool. And it's like for 10 games straight. Like straight 10 games, maybe you lose 2, but you win the rest or something like that. And they need an easier run, but there's no easy games in the Premier League, so it's all going to be tough, especially when people battling for their lives.
Just above them, we have. Well, we didn't even mention Brendan Rodgers and Leicester, but
again, I just feel sorry for Brendan, man. I know your feelings on him, but I feel sorry for him because again,
you what?
No, hear me out. Hear me out.
You what, mate?
Hear me out. I feel sorry for him.
I don't want to hear you out.
No. No, but it's like I'm
Rodgers
not.
is a fraud.
Nah.
He's a fraud.
You know what it is?
He's a
I'm
fraud.
not saying that I disagree with you, but what I am saying is that it'd be more fraudulent if he had spent the money that Forrest had spent, and it was in this situation.
Out of all the teams around him,
Yeah, they spent the most, probably.
No, not even have spending the most.
Over time, though, yeah.
They've obviously got their injury problems, especially at fullback. I mean,
They so for fun. They got injuries everywhere. They don't even have I think they only have 3 center backs.
Yeah.
And then the next one's like a youth player.
Granted. Obviously, at the moment, they've got Ricardo Pereira, James Justin. Who else out on long-term injury? There's someone else out on long-term injury. But they've got 3 fullbacks on long-term injury from what I remember rightly.
I mean, you can't really...
They're about to buy I think it's Victor Christiansen from Copenhagen, I think.
Yeah.
They're about to buy
yeah, but you needed that in the summer. And they didn't have the money to do that.
They bought Pfizer in the summer, so
yeah. But again, and I mean, and he was pretty much the downfall against Liverpool. I just look at it like I can't blame him because they've not helped him.
That squad is still enough to be doing better than it's doing.
Not if everyone around you is improving, though.
I understand that. I hear, but
I'm not discounting what you're saying about him.
We look at Leicester,
yeah,
and
you can't compare them to them winning the Prem, though.
Not even them winning the Prem.
Yeah.
You look at, all right, just in midfield, for example, you've got Tielemans.
Shitty.
He'd be sought after.
So?
He's saying
he's shitty now, though.
He's been playing okay.
Okay.
He's been scoring.
Okay.
Maybe I understand what you mean with his athleticism. And that's
lack thereof. And
he's
also
still very technically a great.
Yeah, but then the striker issue as well, Courtney. You got to look at the fact that, again, we know, but this is the truth. Like, come on, man. When did they replace Vardy? When? I'll wait.
Daka.
Courtney.
No, but Daka was the replacement.
Courtney. I'll say his name again. I don't care.
Daka was the replacement.
No. Okay.
They have
on paper.
But what I was going to say is that if you look at them...
No, hold on. You can't just go over that.
Go.
Think about the names you just said.
Daka and Iheanacho. What's up?
Come on, bro. They might as well have Okazaki again. Bro. They might as well take Okazaki back. No, you're saying this, but I'm being 100% honest. Like, look at the situation they find themselves in.
You had Vardy.
Vardy's hamstrings are gone.
All right, yeah. Vardy's not obviously Vardy anymore.
Right.
But it wasn't bad to think, you know what?
Yes, it was.
Vardy's the type of player that thrives off running in behind defenders.
Yeah, but the new
off the shoulder.
Who's the manager when that was happening? Ranieri.
Yeah.
Who's manager now?
Rodgers.
That's going to change. Rodgers doesn't play that way. So Vardy didn't benefit from Rodgers coming in.
Okay.
That's quite clear. Because when Rodgers came in all that time ago, yes, Vardy was still in that patch. But now you can clearly see that you brought in players who are more technically gifted and want to play more football.
He brought in Daka because he's a similar profile to Vardy.
No, I hear that, but that's the thing that I'll say to you that I blame him for. Because it needed to shift.
Okay.
Once people, listen, come on, bro.
So
once people realize...
Then.
No, in the long run, yes, but this season I can't say much to him because they didn't give him the money to retool.
I get that, and obviously everyone around,
and he might have a different.
I get that.
Yeah, I mean, he might be looking at things and saying, "I wanted to change the way we play football."
Enough. Even if you just look at their midfield.
No, they shouldn't. You're right. They should not be in the situation they're in. But
Harvey Barnes, Wilfred Ndidi.
But Harvey Barnes was injured for a period of time as well.
They're
playing on Marty at the back. I mean, come on,
He's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, I know, but he's stinky, bro. This is what I'm trying to say.
He's been doing that for a while.
But they're stinky.
That's his decision.
This summer, no, but he has no choice. No.
He's been doing that for a while.
I know, but he hasn't. But that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if they're.
And Didi was playing centre back as well.
All I know is their financial issues this season. I don't know if those financial issues were a problem last season before. There's a lot of times where we look back on things and we're like, why didn't this manager get this player or whatever? And these are the situations, and you don't know why these things don't happen.
Well, I don't expect that squad to go down.
They shouldn't, but hey,
because I feel like they have enough to comfortably.
Well, Madison hit a purple patch, and then the World Cup happened, and he's injured now, so they're going to struggle a little bit more. But I imagine they'll stay up, top of the bottom half.
10-11, Palace and Villa.
Villa,
yeah, go on. We go Villa then. We go Villa first.
Villa, you know what? It's interesting what a manager can do. Because Leon Bailey all of a sudden is...
No, but even with... Do you know what? The word I was going to use with as for Aston Villa is inconsistent.
Yeah, it's in and out
It's
a
in
lot.
and out. It's either you get a Villa that's going to tear it up.
Yeah.
Or you got
I think
Villa
Jalen Ramsey's kind of not...
Yeah, Jacob Ramsey hasn't hit the heights again.
Jacob, sorry. I'm on a whole nother shit right now. But yeah, Jacob Ramsey's not really kicked on. I think after that United performance when Emery first came in, it was just like, that's the best you're going to get right now. They're not going to go down, I don't think. I think they have a lot. They just let a striker go. They got a good... They have a quality manager, man. You don't win that many Europa Leagues without having your wits about you. Obviously, Arsenal didn't really work out, but the pressures are different.
Yeah.
Who else you say? You said Villa and...
Palace.
Palace last night got a point against United.
But they've been in...
They're super talented.
They've got a lot of talented players, but they've been in a bit of a rush patch themselves. Also, lacking a focal point. It's like
lacking, not even focal point, lacking goals, man. Yeah. Those players are just not goal scorers. And the fact that Jordan AU that's still, or was that which one of the brothers is it? It's one of them trash ass dudes. Listen, they're both trash. Both of them brothers is trash. I don't understand how they still get into the Ghanaian team, but we'll talk about that on another episode. The point is that even when they brought him on last night, I was just like, I'm not worried about this. And I thought the whole time, like, the danger zone was Elise. That was it. I mean, Zaha was pretty much marshaled by Wan-Bissaka the majority of the game. But they're talented. Is it like outside of that striker issue that they have, behind that is beautiful.
I think the striker thing for them is what will knit it all together.
Yes.
So someone that's going to take...
I think in the summer you try and buy Tammy Abraham. I think if I'm them... That's the direction I would kind of go in.
Yeah.
I think that's like all the boys get together and it's just like, oh, it's a party now. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like, as long as they don't get picked off as well.
Yeah, it's true. But again, the only people that will probably get picked off is probably Elise,
Eze and Zaha. But that's the heart. It doesn't matter. It's the heart of the team, isn't it?
He's out of contract at the end of the summer.
Is he going to sign a new one? Do you want to play Champions League football? Spurs might offer something, They have to. I mean, at this point, Son's in the mud, but we'll get there. Wow. Who's next?
Oh, man. 10th place and 9th place. Who do you think's 10th and 9th?
Chelsea and Liverpool. Mentality monsters. I hear it. Listen, Chelsea.
Let's start Chelsea,
Yeah, Chelsea.
They got their little win in the window.
Nah, shut up. Come on, man.
That's
too much damn money, man. It's too much damn money. It is. I'm sorry.
They bought Mudryk in.
Listen. Let me be honest with you.
He's gonna have.
You guys dodged the bullet, and this is what I tell you. Is he gonna? All right. So is he gonna hit the ground running? 1.
Yeah.
2, fire up the table. 3, and probably most importantly, bet into London lifestyle without any distractions. I just don't think that's gonna happen straight away. I think the only reason I would say he was better off going to Arsenal is because of the manager in place and the culture that you can clearly see has been built there. Chelsea are a joke.
Wow.
They're an absolute joke. And any Chelsea fan who is looking at was screaming about João Felix, and that's not to say that these players will not do well. They will. But João Felix is a top player. Mudryk, we'll see. But Sterling's gone there and shit the bed. Unfortunately, it's just not worked for him yet. Havertz's been in the mud. That Champions League final goal bought him some
equity,
but that equity's gone now. He's used that up. They're just spending merchants, man. And now Todd Bowley's come in, and it just looks like the tail is wagging the dog there. Potter took this job on too soon. I think he should have just probably let this one pass him by.
But wouldn't you say that? Bowley's probably looked at it and said, you know what? I want to revamp and revolutionize. This is my plan. I'm going to bring in a manager that's clearly good. Has played
100%. Yeah.
As we saw that he done with Brighton.
Yeah.
Bring in young players, bring in young talent, and get him to bring
Bet
that
it together.
exciting football. And
Here's the problem.
Together.
I think Graham Potter's situation worked better if his 2 fullbacks were fit. James and Chilwell.
Okay.
It doesn't work because those 2 players are not fit. And that's why they struggle, because Azpilicueta can't run past the halfway line and Cucurella is lost. It's true. It's just the way it is. But again, I always say this, and people like to forget this. pressure is different when you're expected to win week in, week out. Brighton, he when you work at, it's not that he's working miracles at Brighton, but the pressure's less because you're not expected to beat these teams all the time. Yeah. But it's about effort and attitude, and they go into these games with effort and attitude, they do well. Yeah. But when you really deep it, should Brighton really be beating Chelsea, United, Liverpool? Probably not.
But they do
it, right? Because the pressure is different. You go to Chelsea now, you're expected to play at the highest level and be consistent all the time. And I'm not saying that you're not expected that, but we all know at a lower level, you're not expected that same consistency. Okay. So when you're I'm not gonna say not expected. I'm gonna say it's not expected of you. Okay. Let's say that. Because I'm sure the different fans bases will have expectations. Yeah. But it's not expected of you maybe that it is like at Chelsea or at one of the bigger clubs. So that's a bit of that problem. You're not buying into Bowley's vision then? No, because it will come good. It will come good, and the reason why it will come good is because you can't spend that much money and not win. No, you can. We won't talk about them, but no. But that's a different. It's a different situation. But you know why? Because Chelsea can. No, you can. But Chelsea, it's a different situation because Chelsea have a track record of doing it. Okay. Sacking managers, spending money. Next manager comes in, boom, win a trophy. Okay. They have a track record of doing it that way. They had a track record of doing that under Abramovich, and I think they're trying to continue that. Okay. Whether that works or not, it's yet to be seen. Do they finish 9th and 10th? Lord knows at this point. It's so inconsistent. And then the other side of this coin is, can you even sack Graham Potter right now? You can't even afford to really do that. Yeah, it'll be too much change too quickly. And you know what the issue is that all that change so quickly is only going to render the players you bring in useless. Yeah. So you need continuity, and they're not getting it. For me, I'm a strong believer that in any team that you're building or any club that you have, that your manager needs to have the players in place to play his system. I think that's just bread and butter. Agreed. And you've bought a lot of these players. Even some of these players was bought before Potter was even put in place. I don't think any of these players are necessarily Potter signings anyway. They're not. No, he's not in control of that. I mean, take Benoit Badiashile just as like as an example. I remember when United were linked with him, Arsenal were linked with him. I think Liverpool also linked with him before Konate. Yeah. No one bit. Talk, little nibble, nothing, right? And now he's at Chelsea. And in that time, when I first heard about Benoit Badiashile and United being linked to him, I think I could be mistaken, he's like 18, or I'm not too sure, but either way, maybe a bit younger. But I was high on him. I thought, hey, he's young, bring him in, why not? I mean, even if he's not great straight away, he might give you good years. I mean, Vidic was the same. Vidic came in, he wasn't great straight away. But you bought Fofana for all that money, and now you bought him Badiashile for money, and then you bought in the striker from Molde as well. I keep forgetting his name. I can't remember his name right now, but they bought a striker from Molde. Fofana. Is that his name as well? Fofana as well. Yeah. So I don't know where they bought him from. I know they bought him from. I know it's from Molde. I just can't remember his name. Okay. But yeah, they bought him. They bought Badiashile in. Then you're thinking, okay, I think the João Felix deal stinks. I think it's terrible. I don't know who does that type of business, but hey, again, it works for them. It might not work for them. It might work for them, but in the past it has. Not that particular deal, but buying players or whatever. Mudryk, I just feel like anybody who just highlights a player, top bully's like, that guy. I mean, get that guy. If you look at it, if you look at last summer, so City were linked with Cucurella. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden Chelsea stepped in, outbid, probably outwaged. Cucurella is in. Arsenal went for Rafinha. Chelsea tried, but obviously Rafinha was always bouncing on the bound. Yeah. Arsenal bought Gabby Jesus. They also had a conversation. Yeah. Which Jesus' agent confirmed. Yeah. Tottenham bought Richarlison. They tried. Chelsea tried. Yeah. Sort of thing. So it's like there's a continuing trend here, and these were before. I think this was the first successful one. I think this is what you get when you get somebody who knows absolutely nothing about the sport itself, not the business, the sport. You're just gonna get, because every American will know. Well, not every American, but majority of Americans now will know who Cristiano Ronaldo is. Yeah, and they try to get him to. Yeah. Why? Oh, they tried to put Ronaldo. It's not working where he is. Yeah. What do you think is gonna change where you are? Yeah. It just shows how much you don't know, and that the tail is truly wagging the dog, because they're sitting there and Bowley's sitting there, and they don't have a director of football as of yet, I think, and maybe he'll be looking to change that in the summer, but they're just getting reamed. So and the worst part about them getting reamed is You got João Felix, who I saw a report the other day saying, they're hoping to buy him. But I think he's signed a new deal at Atletico Madrid. So what, you going to pay $200 million? I mean,
it's like a career break, holiday break.
Yeah, it's just and like Courtney likes to say, man, it's death row records over there. Everybody's getting 7-year deals. Like, what the hell is going on? Wow. Can't leave death row.
So, is it going to work or is it not going to work?
Long term, yes. Short term, no. Okay. It's too much change too quickly. The manager doesn't seem like he has a great grasp on his philosophies at the club. I don't think the club are following his philosophies. And I think when you look at the clubs that are above, it's because now the manager's philosophies are being followed. And that's just that simple. Moving on to my favorite subject. I just love it, man. I really do. I just love it. And it's not because I particularly have any disdain for Liverpool itself, or even their fans to any degree.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this because listen, we're nowhere near out the gulag. I think we're still building and so on. So United's still building. We'll get there. Liverpool for me, you know why it's funny? Is because they're almost doing a United.
In terms of?
Players that shouldn't be there anymore. Getting a lot of injuries. Manager looks like he's complaining a little bit too much. I don't know. When it's always a weird sign to me when a manager starts complaining a little too much.
Club's a bit of a moaner.
100%, but he didn't moan this much when they were winning, so I don't know why he can't keep his mouth shut now. But the point is that, listen, man, I've had to take 3 years of this shit. I've had to. And it's not to say that, like, listen, football goes in cycles. The cycle is coming. City cycle is happening now. And, not to say that it's going to end anytime soon, but I think now you're seeing competitive teams actually learning how to become competitive against them. Yeah. Liverpool did it for a season, and then they tailed off. And it's hard because you got to spend to keep up with City. Yeah. They could just go wheel off $100 million on Jack Grealish and then go do a deal that's worth $120 million for Haaland or whatever. They could just do that. So Liverpool,
but they sold well as well. So it's not
100%. And Liverpool, and that's the thing. Where's the value for Liverpool? Who are you selling James Milner to? Who wants Oxlade-Chamberlain now? I mean, if they do want him, they ain't gonna pay you what you paid. Yeah. So and he's past it now. Let's not get that twisted. He's past it. You have no resale value on Mo Salah now. It's over. That was over a year ago. Mane got out, and you got what you got, and that wasn't even enough for Sadio Mane. So now you ask yourself, but we're gonna get Jude Bellingham. Okay.
I think Klopp said the other day, he admitted that Liverpool are not in a position to.
Liverpool in no position. I don't know if Liverpool in no position at this particular moment. I mean, even the Gakpo signing, man. I'm looking at that. I'm like, well, that worked out for us.
I said to a friend that supports Liverpool, I hear the Gakpo hype, but I don't quite understand.
You know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy? And this is let me draw it back to you. This is what United were doing, and probably will still do in the summer. Who knows? But we have a manager with a vision, hopefully, and it works out. But look at, and Klopp is a great manager. He is.
Yeah.
But look at it from this perspective. They need midfielders, and what did they go buy? A forward. What have United been doing for 10 years? And then Casemiro comes. Fabinho's been past it. Let's call it space. I'll be honest about every team. It's not me trying to be funny or whatever. Fabinho's been past it.
Yeah.
I think the injuries are taking their toll. He's no longer the player he was before. And that goes for a lot of those players in that team. Why is Gomez still at the club? Why is Matip still at the club?
What was that?
No, because when you want to be in this, and I don't care. People might get in the comments and get at me for this, but it's the truth. When you want to be successful, players need to be moved on.
I think maybe. All right, I hear what you're saying with Joe Gomez and Matip, but I think maybe the older brass, your Hendersons, your Milners. I think Fabinho's been unlucky with injuries.
Thiago's a fantastic footballer, but should have never been bought.
But I was about to say, for the brand of football you want to play,
he's not the place for this.
Like Thiago,
yeah,
Naby Keita.
Their problem, you know when Liverpool's problem started? Wijnaldum.
Where, when he left? Yeah.
That's where their problem started. Once Wijnaldum left, the brand of rock and roll football and gegenpress went out the window with him. Because at that particular moment, what you did was you started to rely on control. And I don't think Liverpool were that much of a controlling team. They were a high pressing team. So a lot of people don't tend to understand the difference.
Yeah.
Between high pressing and controlling.
Yeah.
You can be a high pressing team that keep the pressure on. That don't mean you have to have the ball. People play out that press. And you control a game, you're City, you're passing it side to side, you're trying to open up spaces and stuff. So I think that they were so high pressing that it looked like control.
Yeah.
And they did so well doing that because of Mane and so on and so forth. And they had someone like Wijnaldum chasing the ball down and getting it back. And they had Fabinho very bright and stuff like that. So you had players, and the line played so high. So now I don't even think they can afford to really do that. Once you get behind Liverpool's line, they're in trouble.
So
especially on that right-hand side. Sorry, Trent.
We're going to leave Trent.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. He's been beat up enough this year.
Yeah.
Let's
so
leave him
having
alone.
said all of that, do you believe that they'll get top 4?
It's a long way to go.
Okay. Knowing that they've got teams above them line. Brighton. No. Yeah.
Brighton, Brentford, Fulham,
Tottenham.
Yeah. I don't put too much.
Not to mention the big 6 that away from Tottenham.
I'm not gonna put.
They're in there.
I'm not gonna put them in the mud like that. I think Chelsea are further off of it.
Okay. They're on the same amount of points.
Yeah, they are, but I feel like just mentality wise, Liverpool have done this before. I mean, they chased down City 14 points last season and closed the gap to 1 and literally lost the title on the last day of the season. Yeah. So I'm gonna believe that they're good enough to wake up, and they're gonna get some players back soon. Jota, Diaz, players like that. So I think they're good enough to get up the table. Whether that's 4th or 3rd or whatever, I don't know. They're not gonna finish 2nd. And they're damn for sure not going to finish 1st. Okay. So 4th would be your best bet, and 3rd would be your hope. Okay. That's what I say about Liverpool right now.
So moving on. Yeah. We'll just quickly touch on Brentford. Thomas Frank.
Nosebleeds. They're in the nosebleeds right now. They've never been in a situation like this. And it's fantastic to watch. I mean, they're fucking great. I love their stadium. I need to at least get down to see a game. If it looks that live on TV, I definitely. It does. And it's not far from where we live and stuff like that. So I used to actually live where the new stadium is. I used to actually live I had a flat just across from there in the Barrett building. So I enjoy watching them play football. Even when they dubs us up, it was just wonderful to watch. I just think they're just really good.
It was.
Yeah, I can understand from a neutral perspective. It was enjoyable. Yeah, man, Thomas Frank's got them playing football. You know what's quite interesting about them? Just like on a sour note, I'm yet to see Damsgaard. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know if he's injured. Please don't kill me. Yeah. But I just
he hasn't been tearing up.
Yeah, I haven't seen him yet. So hopefully we get to see him soon as well. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun.
De Zerbi.
Well done to him, man. All he did is, I think, with his own, because I don't want to say it's too much Graham Potter, but he took what Graham Potter built, the foundation, and he's put himself into it a little bit. Yeah. And it's just motored on, man. I mean, he's got a World Cup winner in his team now.
Do you know what?
Yeah, I mean,
Brighton, I very much respect. Is it Tony Bloom? I very much respect them, their model, their recruitment policy, and even the fact that they went for De Zerbi. They said, you know what, Potter played this style of football.
We're gonna go for like a similar direction.
Thing. Brought in De Zerbi from Shakhtar.
Yeah.
And their recruitment is just it doesn't matter how much players they miss. They seem to just always be.
Danny Welbeck the other day.
He looks really good when he plays in a Brighton.
I mean, he flicked the ball over dude's head and everything. It's just so refreshing because the Premier League can be boring and stiff. You know, there probably in the histories of the Premier League more seasons where the expected are the expected. Now we're seeing teams are really challenging and pushing the top teams and pushing them for not only just results but signings and jockeying for position. So it's exciting to see Brighton doing what they're doing, man, and long may it continue for them.
So for me, I just look at them. I think, you know what? Just back on the recruitment, you got Matoma.
They're gonna make huge money on Saicedo in the summer as well, man. Unless he doesn't go this.
I thought when Bissouma went that
it could be curtains. I think a lot of people thought that. You're not the only
obviously,
one. I think a lot of people. I think I even said something to that.
Moepu obviously had to retire.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Shout out to him.
Just got McAllister and Caicedo.
Just won a World Cup. Who was it? March the other day.
Solly March has transformed under De Zerbi.
Yeah, I still like what's the other dude?
Matoma.
No, Pascal Groves.
He's there.
Fantastic, man.
And they've got Matoma out wide, just causing everybody.
And you know,
problems.
And this is and to go back just a little bit.
Yeah.
This is the difference between a team contributing to wins and someone like Wolves not having a striker and their wingers and so on and so forth not contributing to wins.
Okay.
This is the difference. I couldn't tell you week in, week out who the goal scorers are at Brighton.
Yeah.
But I know that if I didn't watch a Wolves game, I'd be close to who I know scored the one goal they probably won by.
Okay, fair.
And I think that sometimes becomes the problem.
But I look at it.
Also managers, and he hasn't been there long, so we'll see what happens.
It's true. But they're about to lose Trossard, but it didn't look like they miss him. They beat Liverpool 3-0.
Yeah, no, I think, and that's another mark of a good manager and a good team. He's a top player for them, and well, if it's to believed, he could be going to Arsenal.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be a top backup player there too, and but he'll contribute as long as the attitude is right. I'm sure Arteta will contribute. I just think that they're that good right now. Are they going to get in the top 4? Probably not. Are they going to get Europa League? They could finish the season very strong. So. Long making team. I like Brighton. I like Brentford and Brighton. They're fantastic.
Marco Silva. Fulham.
I mean, first of all, congratulations on this one thing and this one thing only. You're above Chelsea. I mean, when has that happened?
They shock me.
They don't shock me.
Week in, week out.
They don't shock me. I wouldn't say, I'm not going to act like some guru and say I expect them to be where they are right now, because I didn't.
Yeah.
I did expect them to probably be a little lower.
Yeah.
But I expect them to get results. They do look a good team. I did say in the beginning I didn't think that Mitrovic was
the guy.
But
he's the guy.
No.
Say on the mic.
No. He's a very good forward. He's a very good striker. But when he doesn't play, they don't miss a beat. They're still very good, very competitive.
That's a sign of a good team and a good.
Again, this is what I'm trying to say. So, look at. Williams gone there and looks revitalized all of a sudden. Those Arsenal days were bad. Like, and now, look at him. He's gone to Brazil, had a little samba, ate the food, chilled in the favelas for a couple of days, shot a gun or two. Now he's back. Afro's popping. He's skinning guys. And this guy's like 32, 33, 34, whatever he is. So, well done to Marco Silva. He's
getting a tune out of those
players.
Whether
they stay there or not, I don't know. I do like the Ream at the back. He's fantastic. I think even
as an American,
I know
you said as an American.
Yeah, but you know his name.
We could have said Anthony Robinson. I would have left.
No, he's good too.
But Tim Ream.
No. But you know what it is? No. And this is no. Hear me out. Even Pep said, if you were younger, I'd have signed you. So from a top elite manager to look at a player like that and say, there might be some rough patches or some rough thing, but I can smooth that out. He'll be, I respect him. And he looks solid. Okay. For America, it wasn't great, because it's more of a problem in terms of structure, but.
I think they bought really well as well. Leno, Polina.
Leno's been fantastic. Leno's been fantastic. Yeah.
They bought really well. I think they're in negotiations to buy Cedric because obviously they've had problems with Kenny Tete at right back. And Babu hasn't really been playing.
They'll be fine. I just, whether they finish where they are, who knows? But they'll be fine. And above them is Spurs, right?
Tottenham. I think Conte just lost his mind. He's not lost it.
Yeah.
He's losing his mind. And obviously, as an Arsenal fan, it's great to watch.
Yeah.
We went to...
You went to Highbury.
We went to 3-point lane.
I call that Highbury now. Fuck that. It's not 3-point lane, it's Highbury. I'm sorry. It shouldn't be happening. Last season, they did well against you guys there, of course, but listen.
It's such a contrast between what we saw of Tottenham last season compared to now. It's what's going on? What's happening?
I think. Okay, so a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, you got to blame the players. You got to blame this. You got to blame." Okay, cool. Put that to the side. Let's talk about the facts.
Yeah,
facts at the moment of this. You got a manager who's used to winning. And used to spending money to win. The one thing he's doing right now that he did at Chelsea that I've not seen him do is not be stubborn.
Yeah.
He went a couple games at Chelsea. He went like 10 games maybe at Chelsea. Yeah. Realized this is not working. Went to his 3 at the back with and it would work for those players. This is not working for this Spurs team. Yeah. It's not working. Again, Harry Kane's a goal scorer. The fact that he's dropping off and people think he's creating space. He's not. He's clogging up the midfield. Yeah. And they don't really have a creator. So I understand the job that he has to do. But the fact of the matter is that if he's not in the box, who's scoring? Richarlison's I would have took Richarlison this summer, but again, injured.
They have been exactly. They've been unfortunate.
Yeah.
One of their better players, in my opinion, Kulusevski's struggled with his injuries. Richarlison struggled with his injuries. Still get Premier League.
I think Kulusevski just looked slow against Arsenal the other night. I was like, Jesus Christ, bro! I thought you were quicker than that.
In the first half, maybe, but in the second half,
but you guys are still very much in control, man. Like, it just didn't look good. And then on the other end of that as well, it's just like that stinky ass goalkeeper, bro. Like, I've been saying this for years. I don't know how listen, when people are like, he's a World Cup winning goalkeeper. Yeah, but look at the team in front of him. Look at the guys in front of him. If last night, outside of the Elise's free kick against United, David De Gea has made 3 fucking top quality saves that would have won United the game in another situation.
Yeah.
Right? They called on him one time, and he's done this. I'm sorry. He's been stinky for years. This is nothing new to me. I've been saying it for a long time. Even before the podcast, I've been saying, yo, that guy needs to go. For them to take another step, he needs to go. From that documentary, he's all shouting and doing all that type. I'll say, bro, you are not that great. You need to relax. But yeah, no, Conte needs to change formation. He needs to change he needs to change formation. They just need to do something different. They look boring.
I saw on Sky Sports yesterday, Conte said that he's tired. He said he works tirelessly. He's tired.
He needs to stop. You know what the problem that he has right now? Is he's just as much to blame as the players are. So he needs to stop almost making it sound like, while I'm here doing all this work, you guys are enjoying yourselves. No, you're just as much to blame, because as a manager, it's not working. Go a diamond in midfield. Just try something different.
I feel like when they
put Brian Hill in midfield or something.
Well, you did say that the good thing about obviously people being injured is that he's had to bring in Brian Hill and he's had to bring in.
But that even sounds stinky. Guys are injured, these guys get time.
No, he's saying that these guys have got time, but they've contributed in a positive manner. So he's saying at least I know now that I can rely on these guys.
But he can't. He can't. He's lying to himself.
Okay.
He can't. If he could, then they wouldn't be in the situation they're in.
Would they finish in the top 4?
It's 1 and 2 for me is kind of consolidated right now. 3 and 4 is an interesting conundrum. I can't say.
Okay.
I genuinely can't say who's going to finish in the top 4. And then in the third and fourth.
Which brings us nicely on to the breath of fresh air, which is Newcastle United.
Yeah.
Are you scared? I remember saying on a couple podcasts ago, I'm scared.
Okay, I'm not scared. And shout out to the tune, man. Yeah. I'm not scared yet, as of right now. I still think we all have reasonable reasons. I can come with 10 reasons why you should be concerned.
Yeah.
The richest club in the world right now.
Yeah.
However, we did a whole episode on them. Shout out to the tune for supporting that episode. Good and negative. It was great to see. But how long does it last? Let's see. I'm not saying it's going to end. I'm just saying that's how long it's going to last. Do they get top 4? Possibly. Again, I can't make that.
I'm rooting for it, to be fair.
Then you're going to have more reasons to be afraid. I don't think you want that this year.
It's true.
If you did, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
They get top 4 football and then it changes overnight.
Yeah.
In the summer, it changes overnight.
Yeah.
It's just night and day. Yeah. A lot of those ways. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Joe Linton and Almiron and all these guys, like they're just putting out performance after performance after performance. But you're going to upgrade. You have to.
Well, Chris Wood is linked to is it Nottingham Forest?
Possibly, yeah. I think so, yeah. I think so. But you're gonna upgrade there, and you already did that with Ishak. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Callum Wilson's gonna be the backdrop to that.
Yeah.
And Chris Wood will go on his journeys. St. Max is not getting in the team, which is quite interesting for many different reasons. I'm not talking about my bet. I'm just saying it's just interesting. No, it is.
But your boy up though.
No, because you would think there was a time where he was the talisman.
Yeah. Sure.
And not so much anymore.
Yeah.
Because we don't need you. And I think sometimes also you look at players like that as luxury when you're trying to play a certain system in a certain way.
Cool.
Joe Willock and players like that give you more because they're just going to do the hard work, do the hard graft.
He's come on leaps and bounds.
They all have. Well done to them, man. I whether or not they finish the top 4 was yet to be seen. Obviously, like I said, Liverpool have a strong enough team to bring it back. We saw them pull up 14 points last year, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, however long it lasts, it lasts. I just look at it like if they were to get into the Champions League, then I'll show some concern. Right now, it looks possible. Okay. Let's see what happens.
This week, I just want to, which we've done, I want to spend minimal time on the top guys because I feel like we always.
I think we spend a lot of time on talking about the teams that are unfortunately lower at the moment. But yeah, I mean, United is an open and shut book right now. It's a process. It's a build.
Well, is it 10 games?
10 games unbeaten since the World Cup. Rashford has scored in all the games. Only player in Europe to score in all the games since the World Cup.
Yeah.
Except for last night. Yeah. So that streak is over now. I mean, City were cheated the other day for the first goal that they conceded. I'll openly admit that.
But you won.
Well, you have to have testicular fortitude at some point or another. You can't just let them come in your house because they already dicked on you already. So you can't just let it happen again. I mean, City played well and it is what it is. And, things happen. That happens in football, whatever. Some fans will be saying, it's Old Trafford and all this type of stuff.
We'll do an episode on that in VAR.
Yeah, we'll talk about VAR. But yeah, no, I mean, Ten Hag is,
cooking.
Let him cook, man. When people were talking about Wout Weghorst coming in, and yeah, maybe last season under a different manager, I'd been like, oh my God, we're just doing this bullshit again. And you're winning, so I can't argue. Yeah. I still want the Glazers out. There is no doubt about it. Yeah. That never ends. Although I've changed my Twitter page now to the Near Post Podcast, so I've had to kind of unfollow some of my brethren because all I'm seeing is Glazers out, and I can't retweet that. You don't want to stick by that, but that is still my feeling. I'm sure Slim's feelings as well. So yeah, as long may he cook, and Sunday, let's see what happens.
City in a patch.
I mean,
they all right.
They're all right. Look, man. The truth of the matter is this: it's Pep Guardiola.
Okay.
I mean, if it goes bad, who gives a shit, right? And if it goes good, we knew it was gonna go good. So it's not one of those things where they've won what? 4 out of the last 5 or 5 out of the last 6 Premier League titles, something like that? Yeah. So, I mean, he can lose one. It's not going to kill him. And they do need a little bit of a rebuild. Just a little bit. But they can do that in their sleep. It's not that difficult.
League, maybe?
Well, I think that had been your focus from the beginning with Haaland. You would have liked to kind of think the 20 goals or 21 goals he scored so far would have you at the top of the league at least by 5 or 6 points. It hasn't happened because the team we're getting ready to talk about has just been on a tear. So it's probably not going fully to plan. But he's also had his injuries as well.
Yeah.
In terms of City I think he probably will know in the summer. I wouldn't be shocked if a Rafael Leao probably rocked up there or something like that. Okay. And the reason being is because he did sell all his pace and power.
Yeah.
They're still quality players. Don't get me wrong, but what United did the other day, I've never seen a team do to City before. In terms of, I mean, Liverpool do it pretty well. When I say never, but I've never seen United do it before. Let's say that. They kind of just shut down the way they play and the way they pass in the first half, particularly in the second half. They became a lot more difficult to play. So, but it's City, man. I don't see anything. I don't see anything wrong. A lot of people are probably trying to make issues with aren't any. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Haaland not scoring the other day. The goals will come, man. Every striker goes through it.
Finally, Arsenal.
Miko, I said this before. He overachieved last season.
Overachieving now?
No. He
said he is. He said he's ahead.
But he's doing. But you know what? That's psychological. He's doing that to keep their feet on the ground, not his. His feet are firmly. Any manager in these situations, their feet will be firmly on the ground because they know that defeat or that bad patch could be around the corner. Players, I think, it's almost like the teacher and the kids. Sometimes those kids will be like, "Oh, we all got good grades and we're all so happy about it," but they're celebrating. Yeah. And you're supposed to celebrate your wins. But I remember we were having this debate of football one time, and I said to you, "Yeah, you won, but it's the next game now."
Yeah.
And that's the mentality you have to have when you're chasing greatness like this. And they're doing pretty well right now. Injuries are a concern if they were to happen. But Mikel Arteta's got them purring like a fucking Ferrari, man. They're not looking behind them at all.
Yeah.
And I think the statement that City go and lose, and I said this to a friend of the show, Damien. I said to him, I said, what's crazy is that after United beat City, I said, now, if Arsenal go and beat you guys tomorrow, that's a huge statement, especially if they do it in great fashion. It was one of the most boring North London derbies I've ever watched before, but it was emphatic.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. Because if it was the other way around and City were top and Arsenal had to then go and beat Tottenham, the pressure might be different.
Yeah.
But they handled that like champions. And that's what champions do. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a good run in. They got United on Sunday, and I think if United would have got 3 points yesterday, it might be a little bit more of a techie game.
Yeah.
Obviously, Casemiro's going to be missing whatever, but I think Arsenal have to exercise the demons of Old Trafford.
Yeah.
That could play a big part in pressure in terms of like trying so hard to beat United, you end up losing.
Yeah, true.
But we'll see what happens. I think it's two very, very, very tactical managers going against each other, and they're going to pit their wits against each other in a way which we're going to just have to see who comes out on top. Yeah. I think it might be a draw. I think it's going to be so much build up to it. It might end 1-1 or 2-2 or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I think Arsenal are doing fantastic right now, and it doesn't pain me to say that. I like watching. If City were to just walk it again, I was like, Jesus Christ, it's turned into Paris. It's turned into Ligue 1. It's like, this is just getting ridiculous now. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, it's going to be interesting, man. I'm enjoying watching Arsenal right now.
Well, this was our first pod back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is the Near Post podcast, and this was our catch up.
The catch up on the Premier League, man.
We'll be back regularly for you guys, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4. No, 2, 3, or 4.
2, 3, or 4. Yeah. Can never be one.
Sit here and talk to myself.
I could do.
He could.
I could do. I talk to myself now.
This is the Near Post podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share it to your friends, share it to your kids, share it to your dad, your mom, your wife, share it to everybody. Be back, and we here to stay. Peace.